I think did versus Vaush yesterday. Not seeing a lot of criticism of Vaush and stuff like other times. I mean, we didn't get to really talk much, and he was like super deranged, like more than I've ever seen him. I've never had him interrupt me so much before, or try to throw like a study that didn't prove a point at all around so much as I had in that conversation. It was really, really, really crazy. Bosh, yeah, he was interrupting like almost every single sentence. Like, I don't think I got a full sentence out of and then every time he wanted to talk, he had to pontificate, you know, for 2 minutes on whatever dumb fucking point he was making. It was like insane. But I think he knew his one study was very weak that didn't support anything he was saying. He's trying to bait you into ad homs so we can see you crash the panel to talk. Yeah, maybe, I don't know. Do you think infrastructure should be addressed on a national, state, or local level? I don't know where most of the funding or like project planning happens for it. I guess it would depend. I don't know. I imagine a lot of it probably happens at a local level. I mean, I imagine some of it's probably state level, and I imagine there's a lot of federal funding for it for stuff like highways and stuff, right? Thoughts on the Pixel girl? Fuck, the Pixel was really annoying, but she was also, I don't want to say, that was an interesting person. I'll just say that, okay? What's your beef with Chud Logic? I don't really have beef with him. Every now and then he shit talks me on the stream, but I think he shit talks everybody. I was more just fucking around. I don't think he's like, was Vaush alleging that you were lying about Wreckful Destiny? Wait, what?
Like, there are people that don't even seek help from mental health professionals because they are so fucking afraid of being committed to an institution. This is why Byron jumped out a fucking window and killed himself instead of trying to find more help, because he had one bad experience where he was committed to a mental institution and he never wanted to talk to anybody related to it. It wouldn't surprise me. I know that they can, but I don't know if most people know that. It wouldn't surprise me if somebody saw it. You can laugh all you want, but I don't think that most people see a cop.
Wait, what did he even say? Hold on.
Anybody related again. It wouldn't surprise me. I know that
cops can commit you. I don't think he implied I was lying about this. Later in the clip, he says he thinks you're just making stuff up for fun.
You can laugh all you want, but I don't think that most people see a cop
and bring you to the hospital for the
okay, I mean, okay, so
they're the ones who do that.
I understand that cops definitely have the ability to do that, but if you're talking about
it
it
from
from
the making a lot of stuff up to justify a position.
how many times you're gonna cut me off because you realize you're.
Oh no, I don't think he's. That's a super unshuttable reading. He's just like trying to say in general. I understand. The thing that sucks that I actually can't even engage in a conversation with because he's so like desperate to like win the debate. I understand if you're a normal human being, okay, like. State workers are just what state workers represent to you is a massive fucking annoyance, because if you have to deal with a state worker, there's going to be a long wait time to a normal middle class person. That's totally normal, and I get that. I 100% get that. The scariest state workers always, okay, the scariest state workers always are police officers, because they're the ones that are typically going to represent some type of threat to you. That's just the way that it is. So the two cases, and I'm sure there are more examples of this, but the two cases where I'm familiar with people being incredibly fucking scared of state workers are, one, are people that have had prior suicide attempts or prior threats of suicide in therapy where it's been reported. Because if you get committed as somebody with an issue like that, now therapists and psychologists and psychiatrists and any like state affiliated like mental health social worker person seems incredibly fucking scary. It's an insanely scary thing. And I brought up the Byron example. I don't know, I'm sure there are other examples too. I mean, tons of people fucking kill themselves, right? Because I think Byron had, one time Byron got committed against his will, and he said it was a horrible experience. I think he's talking about this on the stream, right? He's had a horrible experience. And I think that was one of the big things that pushed him away from ever going back to finding a therapist. So now this is anecdotal, so maybe that's not a wider thing, but my understanding is that people that have been committed before have a very negative view of that system. It's a really, really, really frightening, scary, negative thing. That's one thing. The second thing is child protective services in poor communities is a very, 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 very scary thing. You would rather have the fucking FBI SWAT team show up to your house than fucking CPS, okay? Because assuming you're not actually doing anything bad, who fucking SWAT me, whatever the fuck, you know? CPS shows up, okay? And it's like, we're going to take us first. They don't need fucking search warrants, okay? There's no fucking due process, okay? You don't need a judge to sign up, right? CPS shows up, like, we want to talk to your kids for a little bit, make sure everything's okay. We're going to go check the entire fucking house. You better hope nothing's out of line, right? Now, generally, CPS isn't there just to try to fuck you up and take your kids or whatever. But that can be, when your kids are on the line, whew, CPS can be like a really, really, really scary process to go through. And especially in poor communities, or especially in areas where, like, you know, like if a school feels like your child's malnourished, or if your school feels like they can call CPS, and that stuff can be we're not even getting into like immigration related stuff. But yeah, just so the only reason I bring this up is there's a couple reasons. One, police officers are the only scary state worker if you're like a relatively well-off middle-class person, because who cares about what, you don't even know what other state workers exist. Who cares? Number one. Number two, I know that we try to have like a very flowery view of like the government in general, and because like the government's awesome and socialism, blah, 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 blah. But there are aspects of the government that can be incredibly scary. And if depending on like which parts of the government you have to fight at any given point in time, your experience can like very much like taint or shade your view of like the government in general. Just something to keep in mind, okay? The issue with these discussions is that you also have to responsibly caveat everything you say, while Vaush can just confidently assert shit he pulls out. Yeah, but that's a problem too, because like ultimately I have to like lay out a couple points, because I'm not gonna sit here and like make a statement as strong as like, oh, if a cop shows up at the door, you're never gonna be scared of a cop. If a social worker shows up at the door, you're always gonna be scared of a social worker. I'm not gonna say that. That's too strong a statement. But the problem is I couldn't get out like a single fucking statement without Vaush constantly interrupting every single fucking thing he says. Everything I say, I couldn't get anything out. And it was like, Jesus. Yeah. So I don't know. It was just like kind of irritating. Counter interrupt. I mean, I was trying to talk over him a little bit, but once I started to assert myself more, Stardust was like, okay, we're going on to the drawing section. I was like, okay. How do you counter the constant sea-lining Vaush is doing during the panel? Made it seem like he's doing that more in debates lately. Yeah, I don't know. It's this like, oh God, he has this thing. I called it out in the middle. I'm trying to call these Vaushisms out when I hear them more. If you really think that talking like this is going to make your point stronger. God, oh God, like when he does stuff like that, it's like, stop. This does not make your point stronger when you tell, like, are you so incredulous that you can't? Because normally you want to try to get as many words permitted out as possible, but now you've decided to stop because you think that this is, like, oh my God. It's fucking annoying. Post about the public perception / opinion of social worker and police. So the reason why I was attacking Vaush's argument here is that posts about the public perception / opinion of social workers. The problem is that, like, I'm not even saying that my argument is necessarily correct. All I'm saying is that this data doesn't support the counter argument. Okay, so the perceptions of social workers among the general public doesn't mean anything because social workers don't visit the general public. Social workers target a very specific part of the public, right? My understanding would be the vast majority of like middle class, upper class people are going to be like are going to be viewed pretty positively because like, oh well, who are they? They're like social workers. They help society and they make everything better, right? Like that's the this is why I like this general polling data. I don't think this helps as much when you're talking about, because the types of people that social workers are visiting are going to be selected for a very, 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 very slim amount of society. Whereas when it comes to police, way more of us are interacting with police generally in negative ways. Yeah, this is why I like this broad polling data. It doesn't really get us to an answer of like the more specific questions. Like if somebody's having a mental health crisis, are they more likely to be scared if like a police officer versus a social worker shows up? I don't know the answer to that question. It wouldn't surprise me if it leaned a little bit more towards being more afraid of the police officer, but I don't think it's going to be by like a dramatic amount. That's the more or less the argument I was asking. Yeah.
Can you address Bosh implying you bitched out when you guys met in person at the debate? Does it make him feel like the alpha?
What? Wait, who said I don't think he ever said I bitched out. What do you mean? We had a debate on stage. I know that like over the past year, of course, we're seeing some inflation. Now it's hard to say how much of that is due to supply chain issues, et cetera, versus like actual like monetary policy inflation. He said you were really friendly after you got drunk, implying you were posturing. I got really drunk off the beer whiskey flight. I don't know what the fuck it's called. I found him and I said, hey, I hate you, but if you want to come along drinking, that's fine. And then I just talked to other people the rest of the night. I don't think we talked a single time. If he wants to say I'm posturing, I don't give a fuck. Okay. He was joking, I think. Oh, okay. I don't know. I don't care.
People are more scared of social workers because they have the power to forcefully remove your kids or Baker Act your ass.
Yeah, but only some people, right? That's the thing. Like a normal person that is doing fine probably isn't worried about like CPS or social workers or whatever, right?
Destiny, how many people are dying or getting hurt by police during a wellness check call? Or is this just the same boogeyman described in that heart surgeon article?
I doubt it's that many, but it's hard to say. I don't know what the average wellness check call is for. If it's for like suicidal people or people with weapons, maybe that number gets higher. I'm not sure.